Welcome, everyone, to the second episode of the podcast, The Pump Zone, presented by Pump Systems Academy, powered by Dynapro Pumps. Today's mission is, well, it's pretty exciting. We are unpacking a Dynapro manual to really understand the hidden anatomy of pump systems.
Yeah, we're doing a real deep dive into how these systems magically transform mechanical energy into hydraulic energy, just to move fluids against gravity.
Right, because it feels like magic when you turn on a tap, but there is so much going on. So let's unpack this. A pump system is basically a circulatory system, right? Like the pump is the heart, the pipes are your veins, and the instrumentation is the brain.
That is exactly it. I mean, you really cannot understand the system by just looking at one component. If you just stare at the pump, you miss the magic.
You miss the big picture.
Right, because a true system has 6 core components. You've got the pump, obviously the motor or driver, the coupling system, the piping, accessories like your valves and elbows, and then the instrumentation.
The P&ID, right.
Exactly, the piping and instrumentation diagram. The efficiency of the whole setup lies entirely in how all of those integrate. If the brain isn't talking to the heart properly, the system fails.
Okay, so that covers the anatomy. But where do these systems actually live? Because from what I read, the surrounding environment basically dictates the whole system type.
Oh, 100%. You generally have open systems and closed systems. Open systems are exposed to the atmosphere. Think of like drainage pumps in a canal.
So they use atmospheric pressure to push the fluid?
Yeah, they do. They're simple, they're cheap to build, but they're incredibly vulnerable to contamination and, flow variations.
Right, whatever falls in the canal goes in the pump.
Exactly. Now contrast that with a closed system, like a massive heat exchanger in an industrial plant. It is fully pressurized, totally sealed.
So no debris getting in.
No debris and highly stable, but, they are expensive and complex. Plus, you have this huge risk of overpressure if something goes wrong.
Wait, let me challenge that for a second. Because if open systems are simpler and way cheaper, isn't the steep cost of a closed system only worth it if, contamination is an absolute deal breaker? Why take on the headache of overpressure risks?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's not just about keeping the fluid clean. It is the ultimate engineering trade-off.
How so?
Because of efficiency.
In a closed loop, some of the pressure applied to the fluid on the discharge side helps push the fluid on the suction side after it's traveled through the system.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so once the fluid is moving, you're really just fighting pipe friction, not gravity. So yes, it costs more upfront, but the long-term energy savings make it totally worth it.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But whether it's open or closed, these systems often need a boost in power, right? Like they have to team up to fight gravity.
They absolutely do. And that is where series and parallel installations come in.
Here's where it gets really interesting for me. Because series is basically like a relay race, right? Passing the baton for more force. While parallel is like adding lanes to a highway to move more traffic.
That's a great analogy. Yeah, if you need more flow volume, like a flood control station, you put pumps side by side in parallel.
More lanes, more water.
Right. But if you need to increase the pressure or the head, like pushing water up a skyscraper, you connect them end to end in series.
But the battle against gravity isn't just about pushing the water up, right? Sometimes getting the water into the pump is the hardest part.
Oh, suction is the real nightmare. Positive suction is easy. The fluid is above the pump, so gravity just feeds it right in. It's safe from cavitation.
But negative suction, where the fluid is below the pump.
Yeah, negative suction or lift. The pump actually has to create subatmospheric pressure so the atmosphere can push the fluid up into it. It saves money on installation, but priming the pump is absolutely essential.
Because if it drops the pressure too low, doesn't the water actually start boiling at room temperature?
It does, and those vapor bubbles get swept into the pump, collapse violently, and basically blast microscopic chunks of metal out of the impeller.
That's cavitation.
Exactly. It'll destroy your pump from the inside out.
Man, that is intense. It really leaves you with a wild thought. Whenever you see fluid moving upward, anywhere around you, there is this silent, precisely calculated battle taking place between atmospheric pressure, gravity, and hydraulic energy.
It's a war of physics happening right under our noses.
It really is. Well, thank you all for joining us on this deep dive. Be sure to tune in to the next episode of The Pump Zone, presented by Pump Systems Academy, powered by Dynapro Pumps.